You know when you're staring at a nutrition label and you see a number like 50 grams of protein, and you realize you have absolutely no idea what that actually looks like on a plate? I mean, it's just an abstract number, right? Well, today we are going to change that. We're going to completely demystify this elusive metric by translating those numbers into actual physical food.
Welcome to this explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled to be diving into this with you today. Because, let's be real, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed trying to figure out how to hit a specific macronutrient goal, you are definitely not alone. Our mission today is to turn that confusing label data into a clear, visual reality. We're going to break down everyday foods so you can effortlessly grasp exactly what it takes to hit that 50-gram milestone.
Here is our quick game plan for today. First, why protein actually matters. Then we'll check out the meats and seafood, followed by dairy and eggs. After that, we'll look at plant-based options and supplements, and we'll wrap it all up with how to actually reach your daily goals. Okay, Section 1, Why Protein Actually Matters, the Foundation of Fitness.
So before we look at the food itself, why does our body crave this stuff in the first place? Protein isn't just a buzzword for bodybuilders, it is absolutely fundamental to how you and I function. Think of it like active, microscopic building blocks that are constantly repairing your body from the inside out. First off, it is crucial for muscle repair, literally rebuilding the fibers you wear down every single day. Second, it provides vital immune support, basically acting as the structural defense system for your health. And third, it's the anchor for an overall balanced diet. Without it, the whole biological structure kind of just starts to wobble.
Moving right along to Section 2, the meats and seafood, the dense protein sources. To get 50 grams of protein, you really only need 170 to 180 grams of chicken breast, which is just about 6 ounces. Turkey breast is practically identical at 180 grams. And lean beef? It's even denser. You only need roughly 160 grams or 5.5 ounces of beef to hit the mark. To put that into perspective, that is barely the size of your smartphone sitting on a dinner plate. It's a remarkably small amount of food for a massive nutritional payoff.
Now, when we switch over to seafood, a beautiful fresh cut of salmon gets you to 50 grams in just 150 to 160 grams. Again, that's right around 5.5 ounces. But let's contrast that against canned tuna for a second. To reach the exact same goal, you would need to open, drain, and eat 2 full cans, which comes out to roughly 240 grams total. So it's the exact same protein payload, but it takes up a noticeably different amount of space in your bowl.
All right, Section 3, the dairy and eggs, the grazing options.
8. Yup, 8. That is the precise number of large eggs it takes to yield 50 grams of protein. When you actually stop and break it down like this, getting all your protein exclusively from eggs requires a pretty hefty plate of food at breakfast, right?
And you know, that high-volume trend really continues with our dairy options. To hit 50 grams with Greek yogurt, you need to eat roughly 2.5 cups. That is a massive 500 grams, literally half a kilo of yogurt. Next to it, cottage cheese requires approximately 2 full cups, weighing in at 460 grams. So, if you're the kind of person who loves eating large, filling portions in a single sitting, these are absolutely going to be your best friends.
Let's dive into Section 4, plant-based and supplements, the modern shortcuts.
Here we have 2 incredibly popular modern options. A pretty standard 8.8-ounce block of tofu weighing exactly 250 grams contains your 50 grams of protein. But right next to it, a whey protein shake requires a mere scoop and a half of powder to hit the exact same number. That's just 50 grams in total physical weight. The difference in density here is just staggering.
Actually, this brilliantly illustrates the whole concept of food volume. Think about it. On one hand, you have 500 grams of Greek yogurt, a heavy, spoon-bending 2.5 cups. On the other hand, you've got just 50 grams of whey protein powder that instantly dissolves in a glass of water. They both do the exact same job of repairing your muscles and supporting your immune system, but they take up vastly different amounts of stomach space. Seriously, understanding this difference is a total game changer for how you plan your meals.
And that brings us to Section 5, reaching your protein goals, the final takeaway.
If there is literally one core message you take away from our time today, it is this. Pick the foods you enjoy and stay consistent to reach your protein goals. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter if you prefer that dense 5.5-ounce piece of salmon, the 8 large eggs, or just a quick scoop and a half of whey protein. The biological benefits rely on consistency, not on forcing yourself to choke down food you absolutely hate. Consistency always, always beats perfection.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. Now that you've seen the actual, real-world, physical volume of what 50 grams looks like across all these different categories, what is going to be your go-to source? Keep these visual volumes in mind the very next time you're prepping a meal, and just watch how much easier it becomes to build a plate that works perfectly for you.